So I lead an initiative called Women Affect Investments, and this is about how we take our investment dollars, the trillions of dollars that are invested globally, and move them alongside the billions of dollars that women philanthropists have used to create a world that works for everyone. We really mean a lens, not a screen. So we look at a gender lens as something from an investment standpoint that brings opportunities to light. And there's specifically three lenses that we think are really powerful. The first is access to capital. How is it that women who have traditionally had what we call capital punishment, or the inability to access capital, can get access to capital to start and grow their businesses? The second is workplace equity, where companies that value women's leadership and equal rights throughout their value chain, from boards all the way through their supply chain, outperform those that don't. And the third is around products and services, companies that particularly focus on products and services that disproportionately benefit women and girls. So I can actually go across each of those lenses, access to capital, workplace equity, and products and services, and talk about the business case for why using that gender lens actually drives both impact and return. We regularly talk about this at conferences, and people say, oh, we need more research. We need to understand this better. And I am all for research, but the business case is pretty clear. Actually, what I think we need is better communications about it. The number of times where I'm in places and I quote statistics that have been out there for numbers of years in terms of companies with 3 or more women on boards outperform those without by 53% return on equity. And people run up to me after the conference and they say, could I get that statistic? Like, sure, it's publicly available. It's just not widely known. The statistics around women's businesses using capital more efficiently, again, publicly available, not widely known. The statistics around the way that if you are designing from the beginning in terms of with a gender lens, how is it that women consumers will be using this product? The products sell better. There's just all kinds of ways that the data's out there, but we have not yet translated that into common knowledge. It comes to this question of there are a lot of really interesting, game-changing local enterprises, and they're not all going to scale and be acquired or have a great IPO. But for the right local investors, they're really compelling opportunities. And so part of what we've been trying to sort out is this question of how do you make that sexy again? And what's the infrastructure around that that makes it interesting? People are increasingly saying, I want to be involved in the economy in my backyard. I want this to work, and I feel like I can't necessarily change what's happening in the financial capitals of the world, but I can make sure that the local businesses here have access to capital. And at least in the US, that's been a real problem since the financial meltdown. And we're seeing people, whether it is as individuals, as part of investor groups, or even remarkably as part of faith-based groups out of their synagogues and out of their churches, getting together and saying, we want to partner with financial intermediaries to invest in our neighborhoods.